The Sports Ball Stuff podcast is brought to you by What Lola Wants. Go to WLWPrivateChefs.com for information to reserve top quality chef and restaurant services in the Chicagoland area. Pulpery Media presents Sports Ball Stuff with your hosts, Brock and Ben. This is where we discuss the major sports stories that intrigue us and the little stories that enrage us. Well, Rizzy has shown you need a motivator in there. So here's the thing. And I'm not going to talk about potential candidates.
No.
Look at like Dan Campbell, right?
Right.
So now, granted, Dan Campbell failed at other teams, but he figured it out.
He was able to create the culture in Detroit, which is what Sean Payton was able to do here.
Correct. Yeah.
We've talked about it ad nauseum for 2 years now that we see parallels between the Saints' rise and what Detroit is doing.
Yeah.
Even Buffalo, but Buffalo lost the plot there for a minute.
Yeah.
Timothy Weah.
Although it's like Buffalo's back on track this year.
They are.
I mean, they just beat the Chiefs.
Finally.
Yeah.
Somebody beat them.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Not without the refs trying, but
they tried. I didn't watch the game. I was watching Italy. I watched highlights.
Yeah.
Good on Detroit. You know what? The Saints need to just do what they're doing, right? Don't overthink it. Don't do it. Just continue to do what you're doing. What would Cam say? Stay the course.
Yeah.
Work tomorrow.
Well,
that's what we need to do. If we win and make the playoffs, fucking right. We can hang our hat on losing 7 in a row and make the playoffs. If we don't, cool.
Well, I'll say these two things and then I'll leave it so we can talk, or you can finish and we can talk about other stuff.
Yep.
But I think this stretch has exposed two things. And one of them is just appointing Rizzy as the interim head coach, which is, as we point out, you need somebody who, creates culture and jives the players, right? That gets
especially here for some reason. Like Hazlitt, I'm gonna cut you off.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
Hazlitt was he was like mayonnaise.
Right, he was
white bread.
Yeah, he was a wet towel.
Right, and then you bring Sean Payton.
I was in St. Louis when he was the head coach in St. Louis. Yeah.
Then you bring Sean Payton in,
right? Who is
fiery.
I will fucking kill you. Yeah,
I will eat all these Percocets and fuck all of these teenagers.
I will eat your children. Plays a lot.
I am Matt Gates.
Yeah,
and we will win. And then, he retired, and the organization went with the easy choice, but he's not. Dennis Allen is a fan-fucking-tastic defensive coordinator. He does not have the temperament to be a head coach.
No.
At all.
And that's what is now completely known by product.
Exactly.
So, you know that now. But I think the other thing it exposed is, and particularly, too, with all the injuries that we have, is that Gale needs to start looking at getting a new GM. This is really left Mickey Loomis way out to dry because.
So if you read local news, that's how it is.
Yeah.
Mickey Loomis is still a little salty about Dennis Allen, and if I had to guess, this is all about fucking ego.
Yeah.
Dennis Allen
totally
put everything behind. Loomis put everything behind Allen.
Right.
And it didn't pan out through no fault of his or no fault of anybody, but she was ready to cut fucking bait because she saw that the fans were revolting.
Correct,
No one was showing up at games, and the Saints are notorious for selling out or close to sellouts, no matter
and when
how
you don't
fucking
get that,
terrible.
Imagine that. St. Louis Cardinals, listen.
Right. She took notice.
Yeah.
And acted accordingly.
And I'm hoping this drew her eye, too, also to the books. And if any rational person looks at the Saints books and goes, what the we talk about it constantly.
I'm a finance guy, and I know this motherfucker has been punting forever.
Right. And that this is not a sustainable financial model for the team.
No, if you were in win now mode with a roster built to win the Super Bowl, I can understand.
Sure.
Drew Brees this last 4 years.
Correct. Yeah,
I get it. We got fucked out of 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
I get it. But once Sean Payton and Drew Brees leave after signing Taysom to that shit contract, although he is well worth it, but it needed to go. He needed to dial it back a little bit.
Yeah.
And he didn't. He fucking pressed forward with his.
And that would be my thing, is that if you come at Mickey Loomis and go, hey, we have to rethink the whole financial thing here, and he's like, no, we're good, then that's when you go, get the fuck out.
See this?
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself. How much do you want to go? Here we go. I'm going to write you a blank check. Get the fuck out of here.
I'll sell property in New Orleans just to get rid of you.
Just to get you out of here.
And actually, she could probably, under state law, quote it as a charity.
Again, we are under Napoleonic code here.
There it's all merit based. Yeah.
Plenty of loopholes here.
Yeah.
So that's it. The NFL, I hope the Detroit Lions win the Super Bowl. I am full-blown a Lions fan right now.
I mean, any hard luck town, I'm all for you.
Again, I have been semi in love with them since the resurgence, because I keep saying it. We both do that.
Well, what if we get like a Lions Bills Super Bowl? That would be fun. That'd be fun.
We don't deserve that. We don't. We'll get a Kansas City San Francisco rematch because that's the world we live in.
No.
All right, moving forward. Football, proper football. International break. I hate you. Go fuck yourself. You've injured another one of my players.
Yeah.
Italy looked really good and really bad in their 2 matches. We're getting there. Lots of kids playing.
Right, yeah.
We're getting there. We're getting results. Finished second in the group to France on goal differential. 1 goal.
That's after getting beat 3-1.
After getting beat 3-1 by France at home. So goal differential. I like it. I like where we're going. Hopefully we can make the fucking World Cup.
Well, I mean, that's of late. I'm not saying historically. Of late, that's been the Italian thing, is that you kind of creep. So and then once you're solidified, then that's when it's like, okay, now we're going to shut you down on defense.
Which is what we did at the Euros 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And then we aged out, and now Spalletti's in charge of these kids, and we're looking good.
Yeah, tied up France.
Yep,
that's
goal
good.
differential.
Yeah.
In the quarterfinals of the
Nations
League.
And points,
goal differential's the only difference.
Yeah.
Head to head, they won, we won. So I like it. The United States men's national team have won 4 on the bounce under Poch.
Yeah.
Tonight,
they were attacking the goal constantly.
They were trying to force it in there.
Yeah, imagine that.
They were deadly.
You mean they were trying to penetrate their balls deep?
And they were counter-attacking in the back door. But Poch is clearly showing, you were starting to see his...
dark magic? Oh.
You're starting to see his fingers on everything. But, this team, again, it's been 4 matches. I'm not trying to say but...
That's what I say. It's I like it, not because I think he needs to sit down, but, I like that view of him tonight. It's no, I'm not going to be out there on the field. I'm going to sit in my chair.
He treated it like a friendly, which is what these are.
But even then, imagine that from your bench of Poch isn't out there screaming at you. He's just looking.
Yeah.
He's evaluating everything.
He stood up when he needed to.
Yeah.
Talk to the subs. There was a break in the action. Yeah. Somebody got hurt. He would call over.
But that's got to be more intimidating to see, to see that than your boy out there with like fresh new kicks on.
You mean with it in his Jordan
Yeah.
77s?
It's like, no, it's like, look, like, I'm going to give direction, and then I'm sitting back, and I'm already planning my next lineup for the next round.
Have you ever seen Carlo Ancelotti lose his mind?
No.
Right. He
Yeah.
sits back and he does this, and he raises an eyebrow, and he turns around. And
As I
does
say,
this.
I've never really seen Pep lose it. I've seen him get angry.
Correct.
But I've never seen him like completely.
Have you ever seen Zinedine Zidane lose it on the sidelines?
Not on the sidelines, no.
Well, we know he headbutts people, but you live and you learn.
Yeah.
Or
who
even
is, yeah.
Didier Deschamps. Have you
Yeah.
seen him lose his mind?
No, I mean, I've seen him get angry, but I've never seen him like just flat out go. Or who's the? Or am I thinking of Ancelotti? The
Real Madrid?
yeah.
Ancelotti. He's Italian.
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I was getting him confused with whoever had a hot minute before in between, but yeah.
In between Zidane and him?
Yeah.
I don't remember. Calm, cool, collected motherfuckers.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Again,
when you got the bench that those players or those managers do, then, which is, again, Poch has the bench.
he does.
Yeah.
How many people in the United States?
350 million by the last census.
There you go. So
Yeah.
yes, he is getting close to picking out the best.
Well, and to give a shout out too, because we don't do it enough. Like, they dropped the women's national team lineup for the next round.
Yeah.
That fucking team, particularly what's her face, like who just
I can't remember her name.
she's like the American Messi, just dropped like.
Oh, her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about the American Claude Giroux, who's just big and burly and does her thing.
But that might be the other point
and
too.
is beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, is that her?
Yeah.
Wow. Speaking.
Yeah,
That is
yeah,
her. There
yeah.
you go. Horan is the one I was talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah,
They're poised to just run the table
about to,
on
you know
everybody.
why? Because they did this. But like any great team, Germany does this.
Well, I mean, like, the reason I mentioned that with like the 350 million people is that our women's national team has we've switched coaches and we lost a step, but we didn't lose everything.
Assembly line.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we lost a step, but we also lost, no matter how terrible of human beings they are, Carly Lloyd and Megan Rapinoe and Alex Morgan and God, what was the goalie's name? So
Are you talking about Hope? No.
No.
Oh, no.
The
Yeah,
one after that.
Yeah, but we
and Ertz, Julie Ertz is another one.
We have all these talented women waiting to come in.
Assembly line, like these big, the big boys of men's soccer.
Yeah,
They just
I would say even better than that.
assembly line of fucking talent.
We are if Amsterdam could have fucking put it together.
Right.
Is that you have just young generation after young generation.
The Dutch should have won all kind of trophies.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like, we're that version in women's soccer, but we fucking
do it
got
in men's?
Well, exactly. My point, like,
that's
because,
why I always ask you.
But
when
that's
we
what
talk about how many people we have here.
That's what I love about Poch, though, is that Poch worked. Remember, him and the women's national coach worked together at Chelsea.
Correct.
And so, if anything, he comes out of this is going. Okay, what's the women's national team doing recruiting wise?
What does their recruit and scouting look like?
And then the big thing, and they were doing that with little to no pay. And yet we were paying the men, and we can only get a golden generation every now and then. But we're seemingly with the women, we have golden generation after golden generation after golden generation.
And when we did, we squandered it like Belgium does.
Right, yeah.
Because fuck Belgium.
But that's why, again, I have ultimate hopes with Poch being in here, in that I think he's smart enough to understand, like, you look at any good model and you take it and make it your own.
And Poch, I trust.
Yeah.
Everywhere he's gone, he's won.
Yeah.
He brought Tottenham to the
The following segment has been brought to you by Whatever Lola Wants. Go to WLWPrivateChefs.com for information to reserve top quality chef and restaurant services in the Chicagoland area. The Sports Ball Podcast is a production of Pulpery Media, produced and edited by Ben Grimion, marketing by Brock Ryder, graphic design by Beck Ryder and Ben Grimion, music by the Heisenberg Compensators.